The big breaking story at this hour, the two big alliances in Maharashtra are over. The Congress and the NCP have split. NCP leaders there in this press conference have just announced that they are in fact going to go it alone in the Maharashtra elections. Just about an hour ago, we heard the BJP announcing that it was dumping its 25-year-long alliance with the Shiv Sena. So it now is going to be a four-way contest between the major parties in the state. You could hear the NCP leadership there saying that they were not satisfied with the number of seats that the Congress leadership was offering them, that they believed that it just wasn't enough, that it should have been 50-50. And Ajit Pawar there saying that it was unfortunate they couldn't find a solution and that they are going to now resign from the government there. So the NCP and the Congress have just split up. The NCP has just announced that it will contest on its own. Srinivasan Jain joins us now from the newsroom with more on that developing story. Well, quite a day there, Vasu. Both the big alliances are over. This has, of course, major implications then for the elections next month.
Nidhi, what an election this is going to be. I mean, 48 hours ago, you had both these parties, both these alliances still trying to thrash out some kind of last-minute deal. But clearly, in the past 24 hours, it's almost as if both sides were waiting for each other. Look at the coordination with which the BJP holds its press conference, announces it's breaking with the Sena. The NCP leadership holed up in their party headquarters in Mumbai, waiting for that announcement, and almost immediately after that, coming forward and saying they are also going on their own. It's this reason why, even as we continue to try and understand what led to that first breakup, the BJP-Sena breakup, that one begins to see that there might be some substance in the Sena's claim that there has been some sort of tacit understanding between the BJP and the NCP in the manner in which these two breakups have been choreographed, and we could well see that play out in some kind of post-poll way. Because Nidhi, at the end of the day, it's not entirely clear what this was about. This was clearly not just about quibbling over numbers. Both sides, in fact, the NCP Congress and the Sena BJP claimed that both were flexible about bringing down or handing a few numbers here and there. But obviously, there are some deeper political machinations at play, which we'll only come to know down the line. But clearly, this is going to be a very, very fascinating election in the way the way it's played out right now.
Vasu, just a quick understanding from you then on the respective alliances. Let's just look at the NCP and Congress first. Now, how does this then affect the individual prospects of each party? Both facing huge anti-incumbency, having ruled the state together for so many years. The odds have been stacked against them in any case. By going their separate ways, who's at a bigger disadvantage?
It's very hard to say at the moment, Nidhi, but because everyone feels that they actually have a better chance on their own than without the baggage of an alliance partner. But clearly it was the NCP, in the case of the NCP and the Congress, it was the NCP which wanted to pull away. They felt that the Congress was simply a party in the decline in Maharashtra, and the NCP at least had retained its base in western Maharashtra. The fact that they did slightly better than the Congress, they got double the number of seats in the Lok Sabha elections, reaffirming that view. Now for the BJP, if they manage to get three of the smaller parties to formally join them for an alliance, have some sort of an unspoken alliance with the NCP in western Maharashtra, then that can be a fairly powerful combination. The Shiv Sena at the moment appears to be on the weakest footing. They just have one of the smaller parties, the RPI, in alliance with them. So it's unclear to see how they're going to gain from this. And I think the weakest of all of them at the moment seems to be the Congress, which, as you said, apart from having 2 terms of incumbency with the Congress Chief Minister, who's largely seen to have been non-performing, is flying entirely solo in this election. So that's where it stands at the moment. Last word, Nidhi, there's also the X factor of Raj Thackeray. We haven't heard from him at all of today. But if there's a possibility that the BJP now pulling away from the Shiv Sena, will now Raj migrate closer to the BJP? That is only likely to strengthen that alliance. Is this Amit Shah's gamble? Will it pay off? This is something we'll have to wait and see.
All right, I think that is the big question about whether this is a risk that is worth taking for the BJP. Vasu, just stay with us. I just want to get Mr. Majid Memon, the Rajya Sabha MP of the NCP, who's here in the studio with us. Mr. Memon, what was it? I mean, you know, as Vasu says, it doesn't appear to be, just a squabbling over numbers. Is there more to this than meets the eye?
Well, you see, Nidhi, I must clarify a few things. We were not for breaking this alliance. We waited till the last moment, and as we said that the ball is in the court of Congress, but we were sorry to find that yesterday the Congress released a list of certain candidates, certain areas, certain constituencies, where some of the constituencies were such where there was a tacit arrangement or agreement between two of us that those seats would be contested by us. Now this means it was a clear defiance. Not only that they did not respond to what we were asking, which was fairly reasonable, and you know, Nidhi, just now Basu was saying, I must tell you, if you apply some yardstick, now look at our growth or look at our diminishing situations in Maharashtra politics. In last Lok Sabha election, there was a tremendous Modi wave. Everybody says, and the whole of country was swept literally by Modi wave. Now what happened in Lok Sabha? Congress doesn't see simple arithmetic. From 17 Lok Sabha members in Maharashtra, they were brought down, almost diminished to 2. What is the loss? The loss is 80% or 90%, whereas we were 6 and we held back to 4. Who is better? You can't see this basic, and then if you are arguing with us that, well, we are stronger, look at the lower levels also, at Gram Panchayats, at Parishads and corporations, etc. We are better than you, but we are not asking give us more than 144. Right from the beginning we said either 144 or little below that. Sharad Pawar, with all his reasonableness, had agreed to save the alliance.
Being completely impractical.
All right, come down.
Okay, but the question then is, what about this talk of a tacit understanding? Look at how this is played out. It's almost choreographed in a sense. You have the BJP announcing the breakup, and an hour later you have the NCP announcing its breakup. Because
the time is common for everybody. The schedule is common for everybody. Now, 1 minute, I'll tell you one more thing. This is very important, which I want to convey to your viewers. See, we have been saying from beginning, it doesn't matter to us whether the other opposition alliance survives or goes away. If we were ready to meet Shiva Sena and Bharatiya Janata Party singularly or together as well. So it doesn't make any difference for us. We are concerned with our house. We thought that secular votes should be prevented from being scattered, and therefore let us continue with this.
There's no tacit understanding with the BJP.
Where is the question of tacit understanding?
So after the elections, does the NCP rule out completely? Now, some of them have said that.
Nidhi,
but do you realistically rule out a relationship with the BJP later?
A question has been posed to us that whether Sharad Pawar would go with BJP after this. You know, the answer to this is that this is too wild and too remote a speculation. Who knows? Now everybody will test the level of water now, and we are happy.
Who knows?
Nobody knows. No, in the sense, nobody knows as to what will be the strength after the result. One does not know. We may get 100 seats. Where is the question of our talking to anybody else?
You don't rule out moving towards the BJP.
There is no question. See, our ideological differences, basic differences as to the question of communalism and secularism is concerned, we are at the other extreme. Don't forget this. Now therefore, but you see, in politics there can be provisional arrangement here or there. That does not mean that we are inviting something or there is tacit understanding with Bharatiya Janata Party.
You're being practical. You're saying in politics there can be provisional agreements even though you may be ideologically poles apart.
No, but then we will never compromise on our basic ideologies. And Sharad Pawar has been known all throughout for standing for secularism. I think a sole national tall-statured voice.
All right, well, it doesn't sound like you're very convincingly quashing the rumors about Sharad Pawar getting close to the BJP. I'll just go across to Tejas Mehta and then to the rest of our panel tonight. Tejas, a day of dramatic breakups there of the BJP Sena and the NCP Congress. Have we actually heard from the Shiv Sena this evening? Because we've heard from the BJP tonight. Has the Sena said anything in response to the reasons that the BJP has cited for the split?
Well, nothing as yet, Nidhi, because I think they are waiting for finishing their conversations and talks with Ramdas Athavale of the RPI. Mind you, they will also need some allies to go along with. They just can't go alone at this point of time because this is just absolutely at the 11th hour all of this is happening. So they are still talking. But from what the sense I've got talking to the top leadership of the Sena is that they always felt the BJP wanted to deliberately since day one, end this alliance because they felt the BJP was confident that the Lok Sabha, the Modi wave had swept the Lok Sabha and that would repeat in in the assembly election also. But speaking to some BJP leaders, they had done their own surveys, and that had given them about 134 seats in the entire state of Maharashtra out of 288. All they needed was about 10 to 15 seats to 10 seats actually to cross the magic figure. But that senior BJP leaders in Maharashtra told us that was very crucially before the bypolls. 2 bypolls took place, one in Bihar and then the other one, the BJP did not do well. So the BJP today, going ahead with this decision is a huge gamble, because at the end of the day, the BJP is not seen as a rural party here in Maharashtra. At best, it could win about, they are saying 50 seats, each party winning 50 seats, which would be a absolutely chaotic situation. But the party which loses out most today perhaps is the Congress party, because in all this permutation and combination which you're talking to Majid Memon, the Congress cannot go almost with anybody except the NCP. The NCP, even though Majid Memon denies it, can go with the BJP, can go with the either Shiv Sena, have 2 local parties go along together and form a government here, can go with the MNS. We did see in Nashik for the post of the mayor, the BJP did not, the Shiv Sena, the BJP did not support the MNS, and there you had, the NCP supporting the MNS for the post of the Nashik mayor. So those, we have seen on various occasions the NCP, going beyond the coalition dharma they talk about. So the permutations and combinations after these elections, I wish all of you to come down your pants.
And Majid Memon, of course, hasn't. I think he's a smart politician, apart from being a smart lawyer, because he knows a week or a month is a very, very long time in Indian politics. So who knows how things will play out.
May I tell one more thing, Nidhi? See, it's very important. Now, if it is attributed, the failure of that other side alliance between BJP and Shiv Sena could be in any way attributed to us or to anybody else would be unfair. For this reason, that their failure to sustain this alliance is totally attributed to arrogance of both the sides. If you look at the development in the last 72 hours or 96 hours, you will find that Shiv Sena's senior leader Desai is saying to the media that, well, Modi wave is no more, BJP is not in you have to talk of alliance, you have to fight together, you have to make a common appeal, and if you are talking like this, you should know what would be the fate. Similarly, BJP is also behaving in the same manner. So I am sorry that they will have to face each other first.
Before I come to Shaina NC of the BJP who joins us this evening, let me get in Bharat Kumar Raut and Neerja Chaudhary, who have joined us extensively actually on this issue throughout the week. Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut, to you first, sir. You are actually saying on this program earlier this week, cautioning against this breakup, because you said it was a risk that was not worth taking for the BJP, and you believe that it would hurt the party. Do you still believe that? Because clearly the BJP thinks it is a risk worth taking.
Yeah, I think from the whatever has happened this afternoon, it seems that BJP is ready to take the risk. But again, I tell you, this will be not a win-win, but lose-lose situation for both the sides. Whatever said and done, if those 2 parties had lived together when the victory, the grabbing of power has just come so close in sight, and that time they are parting, I think this will be a suicidal attempt. Surely, at the end of the day, perhaps BJP will get some number of seats, Shiv Sena will get some number of seats, and post-election, they will come closer together and form the government. I am not denying that. But the message that is going now is that both the parties, they are no more a good marriage. They are strange bedfellows, and if they come closer post-election, that will be only for the hunger of power.
Okay, what does it then reflect on Amit Shah, Neerja Chaudhary? Because he was the one, in a sense, really taking charge, or of maybe stitching this alliance or saving it or working out a formulation here. So how does this reflect on him? I guess we would only know that when the results are out and see how the BJP does.
I think the BJP has taken a calculated risk. It and the Shiv Sena have left the question of the chief ministership to the people of Maharashtra to decide, depending on who gets the larger number of seats. They are obviously thinking that between them they will still be able to form a majority and form government, and therefore the kind of noises that the BJP has made about being friends despite breaking after 25 years. You see, for Uddhav Thackeray to be playing hardball the way he's done on the issue of the CM-ship, you know, it's not the seats. Seats can be worked out in 5 minutes if you are clear that you are going to go in for an alliance. The rub was really who would be CM. And for Uddhav Thackeray, remember, this is the first election taking place after Balasaheb Thackeray. For the moment, he's kept his flock together, the Shiv Sena family together, winning the Bombay Municipal Corporation, which is very cash rich, you know, many things like that. But the BJP, a resurgent BJP, was really a threat to him that some of his people will go over this side. And for the BJP too, it is, you know, they think they should not let this opportunity go. They should go for the kill. They should expand their base in states. So they are going to go for the alliances, and it's quite possible that they reach out to Raj Thackeray and bring in MNS also as part of the alliance.
No, so you don't agree with Mr. Raut that it's suicidal? You don't agree with Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut that it's suicidal then for this alliance to split up?
Well, you see, if they hung together, yes, as the surveys was showing, they were going to win around 200 seats out of 288. It was a clear win. You know, you and I would have lost interest in the election. It was a one-way affair. Now the scene has opened out in a very interesting way. Indian politics is changing because Maharashtra is going to also determine, suppose BJP does not do well. Right. Then it is going to deflate the BJP momentum nationally after the 3 by-polls that we've talked about. However, if the BJP does manage to form government, then the BJP will continue to keep up that momentum. But it's taken a calculated risk, but beyond a point it couldn't do anything with Raj Thackeray being so adamant.
Uddhav Thackeray being adamant. Let me just get Shaina NC in here. Shaina, you've been involved in the hectic behind-the-scenes discussions on trying to save this alliance or not over the last few days. Aditya Thackeray has just tweeted that he's very sad that the allies chose to part ways after 25 years. He says that very sad that the state BJP chose to do this when we stuck together even in their bure din unconditionally. Your response to that, Shaina, tonight?
Nidhi, it's not as if today is a day of jubilation for the BJP either. I mean, we have tried our best in these past 22 days to dialogue, to come up with all kinds of arguments based on legitimate claims, based on a theory of what our strike rate has been, etc. I feel that if we have an ultimate objective, it is only to dethrone the corrupt Congress and the NCP in the state of Maharashtra. Do we need to speculate further as to what were the reasons? Because I thought so many stories being carried in these past 20 days, so many of them were factually untrue. We have tried our best to resolve this deadlock. However, let's understand we have 1.5 to 2 days left for filing of nominations. If we are unable to arrive at a conclusion which is conducive to both parties, I don't think that any political party can be held back for having a political aspiration. We are not interested in any kind of negative politics. We are not interested in anything which is regressive. We are interested in progress of the state of Maharashtra. And for progress of the state of Maharashtra, you need to have stability, you need to have leadership, and you need to have the foresight to absolutely lead from the front. We have a good government in the center. People are very happy with Modi ji's performance, and they realize that if they vote for the same in the home state, it could only mean bettering their lives and progress for the state, which has been completely
Shaina, would you admit though, as Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut says, that this is also a risk that you're taking, that the BJP is in a sense, putting its neck out there by taking this risk, because as we've been pointing out, every survey shows that the BJP Sena together would have been able to easily get a very comfortable, more than a comfortable majority in these assembly elections. Now, with the votes split, would you admit that that makes the task a little more challenging?
I truly believe that the public of Maharashtra is so fed up of the corrupt Congress and NCP that they will clearly vote for a good governance model. What we have shown in 100 days of being at the center is something that most Indians would have never envisaged. We saw an election which was not based on caste, community, etc. And I can tell you with confidence that Maharashtra will be just the same. People will analyze, thinking of the road ahead and not getting into who is going to form the government and how they're going to form. If people are choosing to vote for leadership, for progress and for stability, the vote will clearly be for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Alright, China, very important point that you mentioned there was the reference to the 100 days at the center and clearly a reference then to Mr. Modi. And therefore, Mr. Raut, you wanted to counter what China said, that does China NC have a point that the BJP now in this particular election is going to look more towards Mr. Modi and project him as the face of the campaign? They're going back to that which they didn't do in the by-polls. Maybe that cost them. But that could be an important factor, the Modi factor in Maharashtra, Mr. Raut.
Yes, you said it. You said it all. If any weapon, any trump card that BJP has in its pack, it is Modi. And what I understand is that now BJP has organized almost 36 meetings of Prime Minister Modi in 34 districts of Maharashtra. So definitely they are solely banking on Modi's charisma. Will it work? I think it will work. Having said that, let me also tell you that why this breakup is unfortunate for this alliance is unlike many other alliances like NCP and Congress alliance, where Congress has one caste of vote and NCP has another caste of vote. Here BJP and Shiva Sena, they have the same vote bank. So if they split, the vote bank is splitting, and that is sole vote bank of Shiva Sena and BJP. So there is no logic in splitting the vote bank. Have they have done it? Perhaps because it is the bravado of Shiva Sena and whatever negotiations were happening. I think the whatever decision has been taken today. This was conceived 2 weeks ago. The whole thing what was happening was heading towards split only. It never came, was never instrumented in coming closer. Rather, it was always splitting mood.
Okay, let me just get in Mr. Prem Shukla, the executive editor of the Hindi Samna. The Samna is essentially the official mouthpiece, for want of a better word, for the Shiv Sena. Mr. Shukla, how is the Shiv Sena looking at this? We've seen Aditya Thackeray's tweets just now, and he sounds very emotional about the end of this alliance after 25 years. He said, you know, this is something that happened before I was born, and I have so many memories with the BJP. But how does the Shiv Sena look at this tonight? What is Uddhav Thackeray thinking?
I will like to describe this thing in Hindi.
Hanji,
please allow me.
Of course.
औरों ने कहा कि उन्होंने राम से बेवफाई कर दी, औरों ने कहा उन्होंने कश्मीर से बेवफाई कर दी, औरों ने कहा कि उन्होंने जो है कॉमन सिविल कोड से बेवफाई कर दी, फिर भी हम वफा की कसमें खाते थे। और हिंदुत्व की खातिर आपने कहीं हुंकार भरी होगी तो हम मर मिट जाते थे, ये दशा थी। और उस हिंदुत्व के प्रति जो है, अगर हमने खबर नवीसों से बेवफाई की खबर सुनी है तो बस इतना ही कहेंगे कि बेवफा से भी प्यार होता है यार, कुछ भी हो यार होता है। जिसने जो है आपके धूप में छांव में आपके साथ खड़ा रहा, उसके उस मिशन 150 को आप स्वयं ध्वस्त करना चाहते हो। ये तो मित्रों को हमने 19 कदम पीछे हटकर भी आपको पूरी तरह से साथ लेने का हर संभव प्रयास किया। जब बाबरी ढांचा ढहा और सब दुम दबाकर भागे थे, तब भी हुंकार भरी थी कि हिंदुत्व की खातिर इस मुंबई को बचाना, महाराष्ट्र को बचाना हमारा उत्तरदायित्व है, इसलिए हिंदू हृदय सम्राट कहलाते हैं। और यदि उनके पुत्र के लिए हिंदुत्व के नाम पर किसी ने मुख्यमंत्री की बात कर दी तो इतनी बेवफाई की बातें क्या थी? उन्होंने तो अपनी तरफ से मांगा भी नहीं, सिर्फ शिवसैनिकों ने और जनता ने कहा था कि ये उम्मीदवार बेहतरीन होंगे। और हमारे आपके बीच जो चर्चा थी, वाई वी स्प्लिटेड इन 2013 इन एनडीए, क्योंकि वो चेहरा नहीं मान रहे थे मोदी जी का। वो कह रहे थे कि मोदी जी चेहरा नहीं होने चाहिए, हम बाद में तय कर लेंगे, संसद लोकसभा में बैठेंगे और तय कर लेंगे जब चुनाव हो जाएगा। हमने कहा नहीं, मोदी जी आएंगे तो डंका बजेगा। हम उसी तरह अगर स्टेट में कहते हैं कि उद्धव ठाकरे जी आएंगे और डंका बजेगा, तो संदेह पैदा करने की क्या आवश्यकता थी